Morning athletes, welcome back to the channel. I'm 7 weeks out from Ironman California, which means a heavy dose of zone 2 training. The number one question I get from fellow athletes or that I see on YouTube or on Reddit is, does zone 2 training actually matter? Well, over the past 6 years of racing Ironman and 15 plus years in endurance sports, I've learned that zone 2 not only matters, but it's the most important tool in your toolbox. Today's video, I'm going to give you the 3 main reasons why zone 2 training will improve your race day performance and 5 practical tips you can implement today to make your zone 2 training more efficient and more enjoyable. Let's dig in. All right, athletes, quick weekly recap on my zone 2 training. I did 3,400 meters in the pool, all at zone 2, about a pace of 142, which is exactly what I'm trying to hit. Then I had an 18-mile run, zone 2. I averaged 132 beats per minute, and that took me roughly 3 hours to complete. And then I finished it off with a 90-mile bike ride in Ventura, all at zone 2, about 5 hours long. So why is zone 2 so important for Ironman and endurance training? 3 main reasons. Reason number 1, zone 2 running is going to improve your running economy. What does that mean? Your running efficiency. As you practice zone 2 and get better at it, you're going to be able to maintain the same pace, but your heart rate is actually going to drop at that same pace. That's an indication that your running efficiency is improving. Once we see that happen, now we can pick the pace up a little bit and bring our heart rate back into zone 2. So now we're getting faster at our zone 2 pace. Running economy equals running efficiency equals more success in your races. Reason number 2 why it's so important, it's going to build running durability, your ability to stay strong throughout the entire race effort. On the last 6 miles of an Ironman run or the last 6 miles of a marathon, I call that zombie land. That's when everyone else's body starts to break down. They're slowing down significantly, maybe even walking, and worst case scenario, they're bonking. But by working on zone 2 and building up your running durability, you're going to stay strong and solid throughout that entire race. And in fact, your form is actually going to improve, allowing you to kick it into gear over those last 6 miles and finish stronger than most of the competitors around you. And reason number 3 why zone 2 is so important for endurance sports, especially Ironman, fuel efficiency. When we're in zone 2, our bodies are able to pull energy not only from glycogen and carbohydrates, but also from fat storage as well. This fuel flexibility gives our body an amazing opportunity to preserve fuel that we're going to need later in the race, namely glycogen stores and glucose that's in the bloodstream. We're going to want to tap into that later in the race. If we violate zone 2 too early, our body shuts down using fat, and now we're only using carbohydrates, glycogen, and glucose for energy, which is going to rapidly deplete. That's going to lead to that bonking I talked about moments ago. So by staying in zone 2, you're giving your body the most fuel efficient approach to maintaining that effort for a very long period of time, ensuring you've preserved the right energy storage. So once you kick it into gear, you have that extra juice and that extra burst to finish really strong. So now we know why it's important. What are 5 tips and tricks that you can implement today to make your zone 2 training more effective without simply slowing down? Well, tip number 1, you got to start early in the morning. Sun and heat has an impact on your heart rate and it increases it. So as you're learning to do zone 2, you want to give yourself every opportunity you can to be successful. One of the best ways you can do that is starting your run early in the morning, preferably before the sun's even come up. Tip and trick number 2, this one is absolutely essential. You do need to buy a chest heart rate monitor and not rely on your watch. For years, I relied on my watch and I couldn't ever hit zone 2, and it was insanely frustrating. And I finally broke down and purchased a Garmin heart rate chest strap for about $100. And lo and behold, I was running zone 2 the entire time. So if we're trying to track accurate readings, we need the most accurate piece of gear that we can find. And for heart rate, at least as it stands today, that's a chest heart rate monitor, a must buy for every athlete out there. Okay, tips and trick number 3. This one's the most fun. It's called all day pace, zone 2, and it should be conversational. So to test that, I recommend running with a friend. I run with either my wife, who runs slower than me, so it keeps me in zone 2, which is perfect, or I run with my good buddy Kale, and we talk for the entire 2, 3, 4-hour run that we're out there. If you can maintain conversation with your friends, that means you're dominating zone 2. Not only you're dominating zone 2, but you're also having a much better time out there because you're running with friends and family. So utilize that. It's going to make you a better athlete, but it's also going to make your training a heck of a lot more fun. Okay, tips and trick number 4. This is the first one that I implemented when I started marathons about 15 years ago, and that is change your music up. I listen to something that's much more chill and or a podcast. That's my wife's favorite. So for me, if I'm going to be doing an interval, a treadmill, a tempo run, I'm going to listen to rap, hip hop, rock, some combination of those. When I'm doing zone 2 efforts, especially over the first 14, 16 miles of that effort, I'm going to listen to country music. It's going to be nice and chill compared to the other ones. It's going to allow me to get into a nice, easy pace and maybe even sing along a little bit along the way. So finding some sort of music and or podcast that naturally is going to bring your energy levels down to allow you to get into that zone 2 pace, mindset, and effort more seamlessly is going to lead to greater success. And then as you get deeper into the run, if you need a little bit extra energy or juice, flip up the music, give yourself to that, and finish your run as strong as possible. Tips and trick number 5. This is the most important on the list without a doubt, and that's quit chasing perfection. When you read all the comments about zone 2, people are trying to perfectly nail it every single stride throughout their entire run, and that's seemingly impossible to do, especially if you're running outside. During my 18 milers, there was time when my heart rate was at 107. That's zone 1. It's probably going downhill or super early in the morning. There was also times when my heart rate was as high as about 158, 160. That's zone 4 for me. Again, later in the run, maybe an uphill effort, whatever that was. Don't chase perfection. What we're trying to get is an average of zone 2 throughout the entire distance of that race. And if you can average zone 2 throughout the entire effort, you are going to give yourself the best opportunity on race day to replicate that and to finish a heck of a lot stronger because we improve that running economy, we improve that durability, as well as that fuel efficiency. So at the end of the day, yes, we want to work on speed. Yes, we want to work on strength and power, but these are endurance sports, and zone 2 is the absolute secret sauce and the most important tool in your toolbox. I hope that was helpful, athletes. Please drop a comment below. Let me know what tips and tricks you use to master your zone 2 training. As always, hit the like, subscribe button, helps the channel out. And don't forget, train hard, train smart, recover better. And as always, I'll see you on the start line.